Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh. Wa na'udzu billahi min sururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa salama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Faman ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihah wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and respected sisters, we need knowledge. Knowledge means ilm. Ilm means to be able to know what Allah wants and to be able to know what Allah do not want, so that we obey the orders of Allah and we avoid doing things which are forbidden by Allah. This is basically what it means by the religion of Islam. The religion of Islam means to obey the orders of Allah, which Allah wants us to obey at any particular time and condition, and to obey the order in the way which Allah loves, in the way Muhammad SAW, with the intention to please Allah. That is called the religion of Islam. So Islam is not a mess of orders, but a well-designed orders of Allah. They are the first order, there is a second order, there is the last, the smallest orders of Allah. And all the orders are to be done at a time when Allah likes the order to be obeyed, in the way which Allah likes, with the intention to please Him. And to know, to be able to know what Allah wants at any particular time and condition, the order, His order to be obeyed, that is called ilm. There is no one in the world has defined ilmu or ilm as I did, as I've told you. Only me. You just find out as to whether anybody else is having that understanding. No, there's no one. That just shows that since the time of Nabi Sallam until I come to tell you, there's nobody who is able to understand what ilms really means. All people say ilm is to know the orders of Allah. When you are able to know and you are able to memorize, then you are a person who have ilm or knowledge. That is wrong. So who will tell us? Who will give us the knowledge? Not the book, not a person. The one who can give knowledge, only Allah. There is no one who can give knowledge except Allah. When Allah give us food, give us money, there's nobody who can give us money, food. What about ilm? Anybody else can give other than Allah? No, only Allah. And Allah give knowledge to those He love. Then when a person have knowledge or given by Allah the knowledge, Allah will tell him as to what the orders of Allah that Allah likes at any particular time and condition to be obeyed. And so to be able to know what Allah wants and to be able to know what Allah do not want at any particular time and condition to be obeyed, it's called ilm. And naturally the ilms are not given to those who are deviated from the correct path. So when you are given the ilm or the knowledge, then you will have wisdom. Wisdom means to be able to obey the orders of Allah as Allah wishes, as Allah likes. To be able to avoid doing what Allah has forbidden at any particular time and moment. So Allah is the one who gives knowledge, not the ustad, not the sheikh, not the book, not anybody except Allah. But now we say if you want knowledge, you should learn from what? From who? From someone. We should go to madrasah specifically for religious knowledge. We should learn from sheikh, from books, must read books. All that's are not knowledge. That's all called news or something. Maklumat we call it in Malay. Information. It's not knowledge. Information you cannot become a wise man. You will not gain wisdom. Because with information you're only able to contain it in your mind and memorize it there. And that's not a definition of an alim. An alim who has the knowledge on what are the orders of Allah at any particular moment and condition that Allah loves the most to be obeyed. What are forbidden by Allah at any particular moment and condition. We should avoid doing that. So once we have knowledge as I define, then we become a wise man. A wise man means to be able to do at any particular moment and time what Allah likes. Allah do not like food, Allah do not like money, Allah likes His orders to be obeyed. So to be able to have food, to be able to have a house, to be able to eat, to drink, to marry, it's not the people of knowledge. They are the people who are able to acquire things which animals are able to acquire all of these things without any money. To have food, to have drink, they don't need money, and so they don't need to work. But men are tested, they need to work. And they need to earn money. And with the money only they can acquire the needs which animals can acquire without money, without work. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not ordered us to work very hard in order to acquire the material world. Allah have destined, before we are born to this world, has already destined what we will obtain. The food that we eat, the clothes that we wear, the house that we have, all has been destined. If Allah has destined us to have all that, we will get it. If not, we will not get it. Or Allah may change if He wants, but that only goes to the lovers of Allah, not to anybody. So those people who are born, as prince and princess, like Harry and William, Princess Harry and Princess William, they don't work hard to acquire lavish lifestyle. It's already there the day they are born. And similarly now their son, daughters, princes, small one. It's all been destined, written. Ini namanya qada. Ditentukan. Qada, qadar. So someone really want to marry a girl. Both are mutually in love with each other. Highly in love. But they were not destined to marry. They will never marry. There's so many stories, not one. Millions who have failed in their endeavor to get married. They were madly in love for so many years, but they cannot get married because it was not destined. Qada dan qadar. So end up, like Katie and they are in love, but they're not married. The one in Titanic, Katie, the actress. Kate and Leonardo da Vinci. DiCaprio. Wow, they all know. They are in love for so many years, but they are not married. It is not destined. If it is destined, they will get married after some time, but not. She said, he's my friend. Similarly, Leonardo said, he's my. We remain friends. Whole people, the newsmaker, all, thinking that they will get married. Because they are so close. Kate. Married to another person. When, the time when she has problem with her husband and divorce, and the one that accompany her is Leonardo, comforting her, consoling her. Too handsome. Leonardo da Vinci and Kate, they are in the actress in Titanic. And we can see who decide a person has to marry or not to marry. It's not the person themselves, it's Allah. This fact, many are ignorant. Many people in the whole world are ignorant of the fact that there is no God except Allah. There is no one who is able to decide as what we will be able to obtain, to acquire, except Allah. But once I narrated this story, yes, of course. Then after that, we tend to forget. Everything is done, happening. Happen and done with the permission of Allah. Nothing will happen. Nothing will be done except with the permission of Allah. If I don't tell you, you don't remember. Why you don't remember? Because the iman and the faith is not in you. The iman that the doer is Allah. There's none who can do except Allah. It's not in your heart. It's not in your belief. You will only know when you are told. Then you forget. Then you forget, you remain as ignorant as ever. People who doesn't know these facts, the people who don't have the belief on this fact there is no God except Allah, there's no one who can do except Allah, is known as ignorant. Ignorance means who don't have knowledge, who doesn't know what Allah wants. How do you know what Allah wants? You don't even know, you don't even believe in Allah. You don't have even Allah in your heart at all. You only have the material wealth, the love towards the material wealth of this world. When you do not even know Allah exists, how do you know? How do you have the belief that the doer is Allah? Cannot. You will never be able to have the belief that the doer is Allah when you don't even believe Allah exists. Many people say there's no God except Allah, but they don't believe that Allah exists. Allah is not there. It's only name, words, Allah, 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 Allah. But Allah is not there. So when we don't believe Allah is there, Allah exists, then all the rest will not work. Allah is all seeing and all hearing. Allah is all-knowing, will not be there because we don't believe in Allah. We don't believe in there is someone who have created us. Not only have created us, have created our needs, who has sustained us, who created the heavens and the earth. We know very well that nothing will exist in this world except there is someone who has made that thing. A plane will not be there if there's no one who has made the plane, the car, the fruit, the food. That is the cook. There's someone who cooked the food. Only then we say, the cook doesn't exist without anybody making the food. The food doesn't exist without anybody cooking the food. Now, how can we cannot understand that the heaven and the earth cannot exist if there is no one who has created it, and we cannot exist if there is no one who has created it? And similarly, the night, the day, the heat, the wind, the rain, immense things in this world we can see, and when we can see and we can use it as a means for us to ponder and to think about the greatness of Allah. But we never use all these means as evidence to show that Allah exists. Because when we look at a flower, we never think. When we look at the food, the rice that we are eating, the water that we drink, we never think. We just drink, eat food like animals. Never think. We only use our mind in thinking how to acquire the food, how to have more food, how to have more money, more women, like Sufyan. Thinking day in, day out, week in, week out, only about his physical needs. Sufyan have forgotten that he is not only made of a body, he is having a soul and he is having a mind. So a man is not a body of man. We can see that he is a body. We cannot see his soul, we cannot see his mind, but he is not only a body. He's made up of a mind, made up of soul, mind and body. So the doctors, when you tell the doctor, I have this, I have that, the doctors are only seeing the body using stethoscope, endoscopy, slit lamp, retinoscopy, all copy, endoscopy, to see the body. But all that disease are as a consequences of the soul and the mind got disease. But they don't see. That's why they treat the disease of the body without having the knowledge that we are not made up of body only. We are made up of the soul and mind and body. So all the medicine based on this have made with failure. They only finally know how to operate, to remove the organs which has become inflamed or have become damaged out of the body. But it doesn't work to cure the person. If you remove one part of the body, the other part will be affected. When you move another 2 organs of the body, the rest all will be affected, and finally you will, if you don't, the time of your death has not come, you will be suffering from so many complications. People are thinking that by operation it will solve all problems. No, operation will make it worse. You just take one part of the liver. Surely the liver doesn't work that well as one whole part. You take it out. You take out the thyroid, you amputated part of the leg. Surely the person will not be able to walk properly with one leg or and then it will affect the other organs. The kidney affect all the organs in the body works, as a whole, controlled by the soul and the mind. So if we want to treat a person, we should not treat only the body. We should treat also the soul and the mind. Then only we can successfully treat the body. And the body doesn't need drugs. Drugs is only to relieve the pain, the symptom. Body needs good nutrients. Then we don't use our medicine good nutrients, good food. We use our medicine drugs. Like Sufyan having hypertension, he treat with drugs because drugs are cheap. Drugs can be manufactured, pills, so it's cheaper, can be given free also by the government. Generic drugs, not the. They can produce easily generic drugs on diabetic, hypertension, which Sufyan is eating. Sufyan think that his diabetic is cured. No, diabetic is still there. It's not cured. So he live. At the same time, one organ after another has become damaged. His heart, his blood vessel, his eyes, his ear, everything goes down because the sugar cannot be used to become energy. It is in the blood. You reduce the sugar in the blood, it means nothing. You say, my diabetic is okay because there's no sugar in the blood. Of course, the sugar should not be in the blood; it should be in the cells. But we don't have enough insulin, to be able to use the sugar that we take into energy. Cannot be converted. So reducing the amount of sugar in the blood will not treat the body. We have to cure the gland that produce the endocrine gland that produce what do you call it for diabetic? What is the enzyme? Insulin. But they don't treat the organs that produce insulin. Pancreas. So the pancreas keep on damaged, inflamed. Finally, you have to amputate the endocrine gland. The pancreas. Then you still have to get more drugs. What's the answer to all that? So the doctors now are just waiting for his death to stop treating him with the drugs. So finally, he's being, strolled down the ward, the hospital, lying down, dripping, and every day is money. Every day money in the hospital. And that's about all. He works so hard all day long, all year long, only to pay his medical bills. The scientist who invented the phone, Jacob, what's his name? Steve Jobs. He said, I'm now lying on a very expensive bed. It's all tubes and all. I have extreme pain, which can no longer be eliminated by the drugs which the doctors are giving. The pain is so excruciating. He said, I can ask somebody to drive a car for me, but I cannot pay somebody to bear my pains. My money now seems to be of no use. If I can pay somebody to bear my pain, I will pay. I have all the money. But now I cannot. I have to bear the pain and naturally the sorrow. So he said, money have no value. But to Sufyan now, money is value. When Sufyan heard Steve Jobs says money is of no value, he was puzzled. Why he's saying that money got no value? He was extremely puzzled. And he said to Steve Jobs, give the money to me. If you say money of no use. When Steve Jobs knows that money is of no use, when he's on the deathbed, when he knows his money cannot pay somebody to bear his pain, he can give money to somebody to drive him from one place to the other, to help him in doing something, but not to bear his pain. At that juncture of time, the only thing that Steve Jobs wants to use his money is to relieve his pain, but cannot. Even no amount of drugs injected will be able to eliminate the pains which he has to suffer at the end of his life. That is the end of the life. And now Prince Philip, after living 99 years, he has to go. You know, there is a ceremony, procession, sending his dead body into the grave to be buried in the chapels, with with many, people standing in rows. The last respect before going into the grave. Do we know what will happen when he enters the grave? There will be angels waiting. It's not a place where someone only sleeping, as he was before he's put in the grave. When we saw his corpse, he's just sleeping. But when he entered the grave, his soul, his mind, all in terror and horror, because they'll be punished. Start the day when you die and you buried inside the earth. This is the time you start to suffer incessantly, continuously, and no money will be able to relieve you. As Steve Jobs, before his death, he said, no money can relieve me from this pain of mine. When he go into the grave, even no money. When he go to hellfire, no money. Even if you have money as much as the world and double it, can never relieve you from the pain of hellfire. And there's no one will be able to take you out from that hellfire. So, times from the day when you die till the day when you enter hellfire is full with pain, full with sorrow, which no amount of money or wealth that we have in this world will ever be able to relieve us from that sorrow and pain. Steve Jobs was telling to the whole world to learn a lesson. He's not a Muslim, he's a Christian, I think, probably not practicing Christian. He should know now. He says in the life and the after. What a useless thing to do. To spend all your life till the day when you die, to amass wealth, to acquire money, to store in the bank, is all madness. Have no use. Only the people who have died, who have seen the punishment of Allah, and no amount of his money, how much he has, will be able to relieve him from that sorrow and pain, are able to tell us that these worldly things are useless, of no value. Nobody else in this world able to tell us, because everybody in this world are having the desire to have money and wealth, thinking that it will help me in this world as well as in the hereafter. Even in this world, money cannot help. As Steve Jobs was saying, I can pay money for people to drive me a car, but I cannot pay money for people to bear my pain. I cannot buy any drugs. There's no drugs available, doctor says. We have given you the greatest doses already. Very expensive. Have to pay, for all the drugs, the tube. But my pain is so severe. He is well known as somebody whom many people regarded as a successful entrepreneur. The icon. But what's the end of all that? What is the end of Prince Philip after all that 99 years he had lived? Will he go to paradise? He will not go to paradise because he died as a non-believer. So every non-believer in this world who are living now are waiting for the fire to touch them, for the suffering. They are having suffering also in this world, but much more in the hereafter. And we as Muslims, we as the believer must do the work of inviting the whole entire mankind to Allah. We must tell them the truth. They must listen to this lecture. They should not be made, dreaming that the days ahead of them are full with happiness. The days ahead of them, the moment they enter the grave, are full with sorrow and suffering, which no money, no wealth, which they are able to have in this world, will be able to save them, to tell Allah, you take my money, relieve me from this pain. You will not be accepted. So my dear brothers, for those who are busy, like Sufyan, acquiring material wealth of this world, make repentance, Allah. Make the decision to stop giving a lot of time to acquire wealth and to give more time to acquire iman and good action. And the first thing you have to do, you must make repentance to Allah. And recite the great kalimah. There is no God except Allah and Muhammad is the messenger. And when you have recited this kalimah, do the work that fulfill the right of this reciting kalimah. What is that work? The work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, or the work of inviting people to Allah with your time and your wealth. Sacrifice your wealth and your time for doing this work of inviting people to Allah. Those who have not recited the kalimah, invite them to recite kalimah with love and affection. And those who have recited the great kalimah and are not doing the work of inviting people to good and forbidding people from evil, invite them with love. Tell them this is the work that you need to do. Not only the work of acquiring wealth and money. Every day, in and out, week in and out, you go to your office, your shop, to do work so that you get money. How much money you want? Even Steve Jobs has so much money, he says, my money is no use. I'm known as a rich man, got a lot of money, but that's only names. There's no use. My wealth I cannot even use my wealth to save me from the sorrow, the pain, while I'm on the bed, on the hospital bed. What more in the grave, in hellfire, my dear? The money that we have, the wealth that we have, can never be able to protect us, to save us from the suffering and the torments of the hereafter. We have to love ourselves, to safeguard ourselves from that suffering. We have to make repentance. We have to come to the belief in Allah and Muhammad Sallam as the messenger. And we have to make that belief to be in our heart. In order to do that, we have to do the work. After reciting the kalimah, we have to do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of time and wealth in our locality, in our town, our country, and the whole world. Till the day when we die, we'll die, inshallah, with the grace of Allah, with iman and amal. We will be safe from any suffering from the life in this world as well as from any suffering in the life of hereafter.